No, you don't. I just said
why did you ask?
Sorry.
This is going already, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm Trista. Trista Pengelly. I'm a Scentsy director. My team is Share the Warmth. Just like two from my team this time. Okay. Hi guys. I have been in this business for going on 5 years. It'll be 5 years for me in April. I hit director at the 2-year mark, and I was able to make the decision to quit my job. So Scentsy is now my main income, and I get to stay home with my 3 beautiful girls all day long and work my Scentsy business. A little bit about me. So we're going to talk about customer follow-up today. Has anybody heard the saying, the fortune is in the follow-up? I got 1 hand, 2 hands? Okay. If you're in the sales industry, chances are you've heard this before. So we're going to talk about the fortune is in the follow-up, and what does it mean, and is it true? So first of all, we need to define the word fortune, because fortune can mean very different things for different people. So let's just assume, for simplicity's sake, you're a brand new consultant, you just signed up this month, and making a couple $100 extra a month is pretty great, right? Make $200, $300 in a month. That's good for you, right? So let's say that your fortune is going to be $600 a month. $600 a month would be awesome. You can pay half your rent for that. You can buy your family groceries for the month. So $600 is going to be our fortune when we talk about fortune today. Now, does anyone know how much you have to sell or what you have to do to be paid $600 in 1 month? Based on your own sales. How much PRV do you have to sell? No, I've done my math ahead of time. Right, 2,000 PRV. 2,000 PRV at 25% will pay you $600. But Scentsy has kind of made it pretty much impossible for us to make only $600 if you sell 2,000 PRV. Anyone know why? Bonus, yes. As soon as you hit 2,000 PRV, you get a 5% bonus on your commissions. So instead of making 25%, you're making 30. So if you sell 2,000 PRV, you're not making 600, you're making $720 in commissions. So that's going to be our fortune. So our fortune is now $720 in 1 month. So there's 3 important things that we really need to realize about fortune. The first thing is that it is never immediate. Doesn't matter what you do or what industry you're in or what job you have, it's going to take time. So for an example, you could go to university for 2-3 years, get a degree, get a job with a really great company, start at the bottom, work your way up. Takes time, right, to get to the fortune where you want to be. Same thing in network marketing or direct sales. It's going to take time. So let's say that your average customer order is about 40 PRV. So if you want to hit 2,000 to make your fortune, and your average customer is ordering 40 PRV, you need 50 new customer orders in 1 month to reach your goal. It's kind of a lot, right? Almost 2 new customers every day. So you might not do 50 new customers in 1 month, especially if it's your first month, and that's totally okay. But using the system of follow-up that we're going to talk about today is really going to get you there. So it'll take work, it'll take consistency, but you will get there. So it's not immediate. So fortune is never immediate. Fortune takes work. Nothing good is easy, basically. It takes work, unless you win the lottery, because that's really easy, which would be awesome. So it takes work. Let's say you do it. Your very first month of Scentsy, you find 50 brand new customers. They each order 40 PRV, and you've done it. You've got your $720 paycheck, and you're super happy, right? What do you have to do the next month if you're not following up with those customers? 50 new customers. And the next month, 50 new customers. That works out to 600 new customers in a year. That's about 2 new customers every day that you need to find and have order. That's 1,800 new customers over 3 years. Do you know 1,800 people? No. Most people live in a town where there's not even 1,800 people. Not most people, some people. Yeah, it's a lot. 600 in a year is a lot. So if we assume that with follow-ups and building relationships with those first 50 customers that you've got, we're going to assume that each of those customers is going to order twice in a year, because you're building a relationship with them and you're connecting with them throughout the year. Now, that's kind of hard to estimate because a lot of customers will order a lot more than that. And those are the ones you want to recruit. And then some will order only once and never order again. So we're kind of assuming that every customer is going to order twice a year. If each customer orders twice a year, that cuts your 600 in half. That means you only need to find 300 brand new customers in 1 year. 25 new customers in a month. It's doable, right? That's less than 1 new customer in a day. If you do a party, you've got 6, 8, 10 new customers. So 4 or 5 parties a month, as long as you're following up with your customers, you can get to your 40. So it takes work. It depends on what kind of work you're doing to get the most out of your business. You want to be the most effective that you can be, and follow-ups are one of the best ways that you can do that. Okay, so it's never immediate. Fortune is never immediate. Fortune takes work. And the third thing is fortune does not come without follow-up. No matter what your goals are, no matter what your definition of fortune is or how much money you want to make with your business, it's going to take time, it's going to take hard work, and it's going to take following up with your customers and building relationships. So why is follow-up important? I'm going to use an example for you. Let's say I'm doing a home party. So I'm going to go and do a party for Sarah. Sarah's hosting a party, and a customer at her party orders a warmer and 3 bars of wax. Let's say I'm not following up. So her order comes in, I package it all up pretty, put my little card on it, I go drop it all off at Sarah's house, and her guests are going to get it from her. And I don't follow up with them after that. 3, 4 months down the road, that one guest who ordered a warmer and 3 bars, chances are she's running out of wax, or she needs a light bulb, or she loves it so much she wants more warmers for her house. Chances are also that somebody she knows has a friend who sells Scentsy, or somebody on her Facebook is hosting a party, or somebody she knows somebody who's just signed up as a consultant. Who's going to get that order from that customer? Not me. Exactly. So I started her love of Scentsy, but somebody else is going to reap the rewards from it. So I can't even tell you how many times I hear it at parties or at shows or events that I do where I have a booth set up. People will say all the time, oh, I got a warmer, but I need more bars and I don't have a consultant. Well, you did have a consultant, but your consultant didn't follow up with you, and now you don't remember who they were. So I am now reaping the rewards of that customer, right? So you have a customer, you want to keep that customer by building a relationship with them. So same situation, I did a party for Sarah, and let's say Julie is her name. Julie ordered a warmer and 3 bars, but I'm following up with her. I'm keeping in touch, I'm making sure she's happy with what she ordered. 5, 6 months down the road, let's say she's having coffee with a friend, and her friend mentions, hey, I've heard so much awesome stuff about Scentsy, but I've never tried it. I was thinking I might want to have a party, but I don't know a consultant. Well, Julie's going to say, hey, I have an awesome consultant. I'll give you her contact info. She should do a party for you. From that one customer follow-up that I've been consistent with, I now have a party booking where I'm going to get 8, 10, 12 new customers from that one party. So the more follow-ups you do, it's going to lead to referrals. It's going to lead to new people joining your team. It's going to lead to people eventually booking parties. So there's a million different ways how follow-up can grow your business much more effectively than going out and trying to find 50 brand new customers every single month. So how do you guys follow up with customers? Do you send texts? Do you use Facebook? What do you do?
Usually call or talk in person.
Call or talk in person, okay.
Lately I've been sending email or
Yeah.
also handing out samples with a letter inside about what's happening that month.
Awesome. Where do you hand out samples? Like to who?
Delivered to my customers.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay. Does anyone else use the phone? Does anyone else make phone calls? You do? Awesome. Not very many hands go up when I ask that question. People hate the phone. So with all the technology that's available to us now and social media being as huge as it is, real conversations, like speaking conversations, are very rare, very rare. And they make people uncomfortable. The person making the phone call is uncomfortable. And the phone is really your best tool to build a relationship with your customer. I always say we're not in the sales business, we're in the relationship business. If you have a relationship with your customers, they're going to like you, they're going to order from you. You want them to hear the word Scentsy and think your name, right? So the phone is the best tool you can use. Even if it's a quick 30-second call, you know, hey Julie, how's it going? Just wanted to make sure you're still happy with your warmer, do you need anything? 30 seconds, you were uncomfortable, but it makes her remember you. It makes her appreciate the fact that you care about her enough to check in on her. You're not bothering her, you're checking in on her to make sure she's okay. She's gonna appreciate that fact, right? So emails, Facebook posts, tagging people in Facebook posts, sending mass messages, those are all really great ways to add to your Scentsy business and grow your business in different ways. But when it comes to following up with customers, the more personal you can be, the better. So text messaging is okay, as long as it's not a mass text message, but things like emails and even Facebook party invites and stuff, they get ignored so easily. Like I can tell you, I probably have 20 invites in my Facebook notifications right now, and I haven't looked at them. I don't know what they are, right? So emails are easily deleted. Talking on the phone is the best way to make sure that you're not ignored. Basically, you're forcing that person to talk to you, but you're doing it in a way where they're not annoyed with you, they appreciate the fact. So why is following up so hard to do? Why is making phone calls so hard to do? What are some things that stop you guys from making phone calls?
Being busy with other stuff, and then you forget about it, and it's, when you remember, it's kind of late to call.
Yeah, okay, so it's like wrong time of day, okay.
In some cases, just plain shyness.
Right, people are scared of the phone. They're scared of having conversations, yeah.
I'm always scared, I guess I'm not very confident with myself, and I'm always scared that I'm gonna bother them, just like you said.
You're scared you're gonna bother them, exactly.
And I'm sure it doesn't, you just have to start your phone.
Exactly, you gotta build yourself up. Everyone, honestly, I hate making phone calls. I hate them. Like I will wait till my kids are in bed and I will lock myself in the bedroom so my husband can't hear me talking. And it's weird, like why do we do that, right? Yes?
For me, it's that I don't want people to think that I only want to talk to them when
it's about
I want to
Scentsy.
sell them something.
Right, right.
That's one of the things for me.
Yeah. So I think we touched on all of them. So most of the reasons that people don't do follow-up calls, you don't know when to call. So, they're probably having dinner. Their kids are probably sleeping, it's too late to call. They're probably at work. There's always excuses on why to call because you don't want to bother people, right? Another thing is you don't know what to say. You know you're supposed to call them, but what are you going to say? You know, hey, I know you just ordered, but do you want to order some more? Right? Like, you have to know what to say. And you don't know why you're calling. You know you're supposed to call, but you don't know why you're calling. So if you had a system in place that would give you a time to call, it would give you a reason to call, and it would tell you exactly what to say. Would that make it easier? You're supposed to say yes. Yes. Okay. So the system I'm going to share with you today is going to give you all those three things. It's going to give you a time to call, it's going to give you a reason to call, and it's going to let you know exactly what to say. The key to follow-up and being successful with your follow-up is consistency. So if you start the system, you have to make sure that you stick with it. Because once you start to follow up regularly with your customers, they're going to expect to hear from you every couple of months. And if you just stop contacting them, you're going to lose that customer. So the most important thing is consistency. So the system I'm going to share is called the 222 system. Has anyone heard of it? Tell me, I haven't heard that yet today. The 222, no one's using it? No? Awesome, okay. In every group so far, someone has already been using the system. The 222 system gives you a chance to follow up with your customers 3 times. 2 days after they get their order, 2 weeks after they get their order, and 2 months. So 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. It's easy to remember, 222, pizza. Each of the 3 follow-ups has a completely different purpose. So you're calling for a completely different reason every time you call with the system. So if it's done properly, it's going to build you loyal customers, it's going to build you long-term customers, it's going to get you leads from parties, it's going to get you referrals for customers and parties, and it's probably even going to get you some new team members. So being consistent with this system, I promise you, if you do the system and you do it consistently, over a year, your business will double. So we'll talk about the first one, the 2-day follow-up. So 2 days after they receive their order. Now this one it's 2 days, kind of-ish 2 days. Depends on the order. If someone's just called me and said they need 6 bars of wax, will deliver them their order when it comes in, and then I call 2 days later. But if I've done a party, like let's use Sarah's party as an example, I'm delivering all of the orders to Sarah. So I'm gonna give her time to get the orders to her guests before I start calling her guests. Because I don't wanna give her the orders and then call 2 days later and be like, hey, did you get your order from Sarah? And she's like, didn't know Sarah had the orders yet, right? So normally if it's a party order, I'll wait maybe 4 or 5 days before I make the calls. And I always like to make a note in my agenda on my calendar. You know, if I did deliveries today, then I'll go, 2-3 days and I'll make a note to follow up with that list of people. So the 2-day follow-up call is strictly your opportunity to thank your customer for their order, make sure they got their order if it was from a party, and make sure they're happy with it. So this is only a customer service call. You're not calling to sell them anything. You're just calling to check in on them, make sure they got it, make sure they like it. If they have any questions, they're probably going to ask you, right? If they have questions about how to use it or whatever, they're going to ask you during this call. So it's strictly customer service. An example would be, hey Julie, it's Trista with Scentsy, how's it going? I know you're busy, I'm not going to keep you long. I just wanted to make sure you got your order from Sarah's party. Yes, I got my order. Oh, great. How are you liking it? Have you had a chance to use the warmer yet? Which scent do you like the best? So it's really just a personal conversation to make sure they're happy with their product. One thing that I've learned doing home parties over the years is you absolutely don't want to be the consultant who sits in the corner and waits for people to bring their orders to you. A party is, I could go on and on about parties. A party is like the absolute best situation that you can be in for your business. You're in a room with like 10, 12 people who are there wanting to learn about Scentsy. They want to buy from you, right? So you want to make sure that you work the room. You want to make sure that you move around the room and chat with every single person there. It doesn't even have to be Scentsy related. You can talk about their kids. You can ask about their job. Mention you like their shirt, where they get it from. Find something in common and just make sure that you chat and have a conversation with every single person. And then at the end of the party, when you are filling out their order forms, give them their copy of their receipt and then make a little note at the top of their order form with something that will make you remember who they are. So that when you're doing your follow-up calls 2 days later or 2 weeks later, you're gonna be able to mention something that makes them realize that you are actually calling them. They're not just a number on your list. So I could call and say, hey, how'd your son's birthday party go? How'd the cake turn out? And then she's gonna realize that I actually remember who she is. I'm not just going through a list of people I'm calling, even though I am going through a list of people I'm calling. They're gonna appreciate the fact that you remember them, and it builds more of a relationship with that customer. So you've checked in, you make sure she got her order, make sure she's happy with it. At the end of the call, you really want to make sure that you mention really quickly, I'm just going to let you know I'm going to follow up with you in a couple of weeks just to make sure you're still doing okay with it. That's a very important thing. You want to make sure that you tell them that you're going to contact them again. And then you have to actually contact them again. You can't say, I'm going to call you in a couple of weeks, and then they never hear from you again. So it kind of forces you to continue your follow-ups. Another point to make about these calls is if you say it's going to be short, I'm not going to keep you long, don't chat their ear off for 10 minutes, right? Short and sweet. You want to make sure that they appreciate that they're not annoyed with you. So the 2-week follow-up, so we did the 2-day follow-up, 2, 3, 4 days after they got their order. The 2-week follow-up is 2 weeks after they got their order. And again, I just marked in my calendar which customers I need to follow-ups with. It's a good idea to have your order forms in front of you too when you're making these calls, so you can actually see what they ordered from you and actually mention, hey, how do you like the blueberry cheesecake? Mention something specific so you remember what they ordered. The 2-week call is it's all about product line extension. So this is where you're going to use your samples. This is where your samples come into play. It's all about sharing something with them that they may not have tried yet, that they may not know that we carry, a new scent or a new product line. We have so many different product lines now in our catalog. If somebody ordered a warmer and wax, I can call and let them know, hey, have you tried our laundry line before? I have some laundry samples I'd like to get you one to give it a try. Let me know what you think of it. So this call is all about offering them something new. And when you call to offer them a sample, you're not calling to say, hey, have you heard of our laundry line? Do you want to order some? You're not asking them to buy, you're offering them something for free. And they're going to appreciate that. Eventually, they're probably going to love it and buy it. But you're not calling to be pushy and force the sale on them, you're giving them something for free. So samples make following up so much much easier because you don't feel like you're being pushy and bugging for an order. So the 2-week call, you always want to start by asking if they're still happy with their product. You know, how are you loving your warmer from Sarah's party? If they have issues with it, they will let you know now. A lot of the time I'll hear, actually, you'd be surprised how many times I hear, well, you know, I noticed the scent doesn't last very long, or it's not very strong. Okay, well, they're not doing something right, right? Because Scentsy is strong. I know Scentsy is strong. So you want to make sure that they're not using more than 1 or 2 cubes, they don't have it in your draft. So you want to make sure that they're getting the most out of their product, because chances are it's something small that they didn't know how to use the product. And if you didn't call and correct them on that, they would just decide they don't like it and never order again. Another thing is someone might mention that, you know, oh, I ordered 3 bars, but the 1 bar, I don't really like the smell of it. I'm not happy with that scent. A really great tool you have, you don't have to do this, but a really great customer tool you have is the ability to swap that bar for them. And it's totally up to you on how you want to do it. I normally just say, I have a few bars in stock, so do you want to maybe just trade me for something I have that you might like better? And then that bar, if they haven't used it, I can resell it. If they've used a cube or 2 out of it, I'll use it to make samples, things like that. So making sure that they're happy and going the extra mile to make sure that they're happy with their product and using it properly is going to make a really big difference. And then you take the time to introduce something new. So you let them know that we have laundry, we have clean, we have skin and groom, we have buddies, we have oil diffusers and oils. We have so many different things that we can call to offer our customers. If you can't think of something or you don't have samples to give, you can let them know about a special, whether we have Bring Back the Bar coming, or there's a brand new catalog coming out next month, a hostess special, things like that. So there's always a reason for you to call. Something that I use a lot of the time is the Scent of the Month kit. If you're not getting the Scent of the Month kit, you need to get the Scent of the Month kit because it's awesome. It's a wicked deal, and it is the perfect reason to call and make follow-ups. So, you know, hey, I just got my new March scent in. It is awesome. You're going to love it. I made you a sample. I'm going to pop it in the mail for you. Let them know that you're going to be mailing them something. And a lot of the time at this point, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they're going to say, oh, I'm so glad you called. I really need more blueberry cheesecake. I hear it all the time. I'm so glad you called. And that feels so good. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So most of the time, they're going to be appreciative. So 2-day call, 2-week call. So the last one is the 2-month follow-up. The 2-month follow-up, I do 2 months after the 2-week follow-up. So 2 days after they got their order, 2 weeks after they got their order, and then 2 months after the last follow-up. So you're really going like 2.5 months, almost 3 months since they got their order. This one is all about getting a reorder or booking a party. Chances are 2-3 months later they are either out of wax or running very low on wax, or they need a light bulb, or they want more warmers, or Christmas is coming up and they need gifts, things like that. 3 months down the road, chances are they're going to want more. So an example of the 2-month call would be, you know, hey Julie, it's Trista. It's been a couple months since your order from Sarah's party. I'm just calling to make sure you're still loving it. You can ask again, you know, which scents are you really loving? Did you like the sample I put in your bag? Make it personal and make sure you mention something specific to that customer. And then, you know, I just want to let you know I have some new samples of the laundry stuff. I really want to drop one off for you. I just wanted to call and make sure you don't need any refills first before I come back. So if she needs more, she's going to say, oh yeah, you know, I could really use, give me 3 bars. And then you can bring her her bars when you bring her her sample. So it's kind of an excuse to ask for a reorder, but you're not straight out saying, hey, do you want to order more? Right? So just an easier way to word it. And if they say no, still bring them their sample. Don't be mean. Eventually, they're going to order more if you are building the relationships with them. And if they do decide to reorder with you, that's also a really, really great time to offer a party booking. And I know somebody else is talking about party bookings. I'm not supposed to go on a tangent about party bookings. But if they do reorder, it's a perfect opportunity for you to say, you know, hey, why don't you take a basket party to work next week? You know, I have a basket party available for next week. Take it to work, share it with your friends and coworkers, and then you can get whatever it is you want to order for free or for half price. You can even get more stuff for free and for half price than what you're ordering. A lot of people don't realize how great our Hostess Rewards are. So if you mention it, even if they say no, they have it in their head. And they know down the road, if they do decide to want to host a party, they know how it works and what the Hostess Rewards are that they're going to get. People are so scared of the word no. You think about the cashier at Superstore who offers you the deal of the day every single time you go there, right? How many people does she offer that toothpaste to every day? Right? Probably, I don't know, a couple hundred people. How many people actually say yes and buy it? Exactly. She still goes home, her husband still loves her, she still has a roof over her head, she's on her dinner table, right? It doesn't affect her at all. Same thing, the word no is a good thing, because the more no's you get, the more yeses you're gonna get. If she didn't offer that toothpaste to anybody, nobody would have bought the toothpaste. But she made 3 or 4 cents, right? Yeah, so that is the 2-month follow-up. So we're gonna do an activity now. And they wanted me to do role playing with you guys, but I'm not going to do that because I hate role playing. Yeah. I know everybody loves me when I say that. It's awful. So I thought of something better. Here, I'll take my phone back. This will be boring for them to watch. Thank you, Bless. Okay, hang on, I gotta turn it off. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.